gentlemen, you are some of the very fortunate few to hear the sounds of the pipe and the tabor. Now, kids, how many of you have heard of the Pied Piper of Hamelin? Yeah, but did you ever hear the Pied Piper of Hamelin? Do you know what it ever sounded like? It did not sound like an oboe, which is what they do all the time. It's this thing. It's a recorder with only 3 finger holes, because I have to play it with one hand. My other hand, I have to play a drum. So it's a little bit like juggling. The pipe and tabor was heard and seen all over Europe, but then, unfortunately, it died out in favor of the newfangled violin about the early 1800s. And the violin hit the dust in favor of the really newfangled accordion. So even if you went to the heart of Cotswold country searching for a pipe and tabor, you'd have a tough time finding one. But there's one in Vancouver. Yay!
The one thing that never changes with Morris dancing is the controversy over its origins, of what the original steps were. And this next dance is a classic case in point. For years we thought this was a border dance from the border district of Wales in England. And we found out that in fact it was a dance from the home counties of Essex, made up by somebody from the Chingford Morris side and brought over to North America, and everybody copied it. So this is still a worthwhile dance. It's an example of recent evolution in Morris. It's called the Chingford stick dance, and for those that don't know where Chingford is, it's halfway between Ponders End and Woodford Bridge. I'm sure that just about fixes it.
one that isn't out of breath. So I have to do the next intro. Now, we have lost touch, or some of us have lost touch with the points in the year that have been singled out for special attention, for a reason to have an old-fashioned party. Now, he said, but my fly is undone. He lied. Now, he said that we're going to have some handouts that we'll send out to everybody at the end of our dancing.
And we can pass them out now.
Oh, they're going to be passed out right now. Anyway, Graham and I are of Candlemas Eve. Now, has anybody here heard of Candlemas? Well, there you go, eh? Oh, somebody in the very back. Hooray! Madam, I would like to speak to you later and find out how you celebrated Candlemas. Now, Candlemas happens to be halfway between winter solstice and the spring, and what better way to break up the winter monotony than have a party? And that's certainly what would have the English. Let's try it. With the rosemary and bays, down with the mistletoe. Instead of the holly, now upraise the greener box for show. The holly hitherto did sway, let the box now domineer, until the dancing Easter day or Easter's Eve appear. Then youthful bucks which now have graced your houses to renew, grown old surrender must his place unto the crisped yew. When you is up, then birch comes in, and many flowers besides, but the fresh and fragrant kin to wander with some time. Green rushes then with sweetest scents and cooler oaken boughs come in with comely ornaments to readorn the house. Thus times do shift, each thing is turned up old. New things succeed as former things grow old.
Well, we mentioned border dances a few moments ago. Some of you may be wondering why I have a black face. Anybody wondering why I've got a black face?
He hasn't washed for weeks.
I haven't washed for weeks, that's right. We're going to do a couple of dances from the border district of England, between England and Wales, Herefordshire. This next dance is from a little village called Dilwyn, and the tune is called Not for Joe. This is an authentic dance collected around the turn of the century. It has somewhat border lyrics, which we will attempt to modify for the audience. This is a dance, as I say, a border dance, and the border Morris men all used to wear black faces. Border dances were performed during the winter, when the frost was on the ground, when the bricklayers, the people working on the River Severn and mainly the River Severn and its subsidiaries, they were out of work. And in order to collect funds, they used to go out, a form of cadging, begging around the streets, dancing to try and collect funds to see them through the winter. Sort of the original version of UIC, if you like. And they didn't want people to know who they were, so they used to blacken their faces with cork black. Well, because I'm out of work, I thought I'd have a black face. So. This is a dance from Dilwyn, and it's the tune is called Not for Joe. Start off with singing in the middle. If you want to join in, you're very welcome.
This, they say, is only a lull, a temporary